Brought to you by Penguin.
Through a Glass Darkly by Helen McCloy, with a foreword by Gillian McAllister, read by Jill Winternitz and Charlotte Davey.
Disclaimer. This book is a child of 1950 and may contain language or depictions that some listeners might find outdated today. Our general approach is to leave the book as the author wrote it. We encourage listeners to consider the work critically and in its historical and social context. In this case, we have edited exceptionally and minimally the most highly offensive language. Together with the estate of Helen McCloy, we believe this change preserves the essence and integrity of the original work.
For Chloe, little green shoot that came up in the spring. First published in 1950, Helen McCloy's Through a Glass Darkly was her 8th Dr Basil Willing novel. It is being reissued as one of Penguin Michael Joseph's Mermaid series, a collection of unjustly neglected works of popular mid to late 20th century literature. Each mermaid is introduced by a modern writer, reflecting on the author and book's importance to the world in which it was published and its continued relevance today. This mermaid is introduced by Gillian McAllister, the crime, mystery and thriller writer of the million-copy selling Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Foreword. Through a Glass Darkly is perhaps Helen McCloy's seminal work of Gothic fiction. Part detective investigation, part psychological thriller, the concept revolves around a young teacher, Faustina Crayle, who in the novel's early chapters appears on multiple occasions and with multiple witnesses to be able to be in 2 places at once. The thrust of the novel is concerned with the hows and whys of this and, later, with unravelling a Golden Age-style murder mystery connected to it. I like to try to guess twists, and I did not guess the reveal, which ties together details the reader would have deemed irrelevant before threading them into a Poirot-esque denouement. This genre-bending cosy crime feels absolutely relevant still in 2025, for a whole host of reasons. Brereton Girls' School, the novel's main setting, is of a type very often used today, much lauded on social media and with a whole host of connected tropes. Set in autumn, mysterious goings-on, school hallways at night, lamplit driveways, secret visitors. I hugely enjoy the look into life as a teacher at one such institution, especially the fast-paced plot that begins on page 1. In the very first scene, Faustina is being dismissed for her unearthly double's appearances. The novel's setup might today sit at the juncture between horror, paranormal, and what we now call a psychological thriller, but which of course has long existed. Much like in the modern-day works of Lucy Foley, C.J. Tudor, and Mark Edwards, there's an is there or isn't there element to the trope of the doppelganger in this book, with its clear allusions to Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe. Is it supernatural, in line with its hints to the paranormal, the towers of the dark academic setting, the noises heard in the night? Or is this a straight psychological thriller, much like those written by Sophie Hannah, where the premise may seem somewhat supernatural, but the explanation is always grounded in reality? From this intriguing opening, McCloy begins with an omniscient narrator who does not enter the heads of the characters for some time. We observe alongside the narrator the dismissal of Faustina, then move to witness various other characters' experiences of her, pulling together the intriguing accounts of her suspicious colleagues, the frightened teenage schoolgirls, and finally a psychiatrist who is Basil Willing, the detective-like character who begins to move the narrative forwards with his sleuthing. The choice of a non-detective detective, employed by many psychological thriller writers operating today, draws the narrative away from the police procedure and opens it up to something far more interesting. Basil Willing interviews a lawyer who may have acted for Faustina, considers the history of the doppelganger in folklore and its context in the emerging psychiatry of the day, and finally, as readers and listeners, we enter his thoughts in close third person at about the halfway point, when a body is discovered. Here, the plot goes off like a rocket, pulling in various suspects and theories from school pupils to hallucinations to ghosts. The reveal, when it comes, is a satisfyingly linear solution.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?